Hey everybody, and Tony here with the review of Mahagonny, aka the Fourth Forum Concert, which was shown at the hlhaus Berlin. The soloists were Anja Petersen, the soprano, the mezzo was Hildegard Rützel, the tenors were Min Sub Hong and Volker Nietzsche, and the bass baritones were Ingolf Hohenberg and Jonathan de la Paz Thayens, and the conductor was Jörg Genslein. The pianists were Philipp Mers and Angela Gassenhuber, and they were basically accompanied by the orchestra members of the Berliner Hochschule. Now, they were basically performing works by Hindemith, Krenek, and Kurt Weill. And these three composers, if you don't know them, they were basically very famous German composers of the 20th century. And out of all of these that I really know, I would have to say that I'm more familiar with Kurt Weill because I've seen The Rise and Fall of the City of Mahagonny at the Staatsoper im Theater a few months ago. So I'm actually kind of familiar with the opera, and I'm actually very thankful that I managed to catch these excerpts live. And this is also helped by a lot of the great singers, and especially a lot of the interesting little, well, let's just say scenography that was basically chosen for this concert. And I have to say, it was very enjoyable, especially seeing all of the singers having like a white makeup and black lipstick. Well, black lipsticks for some of the performers and probably red for some of the other performers as well. So the evening capped off with Ernest Krenek's Schwergewicht oder Die Ehre der Nation. So this basically was the beginning of the concert. And in this first excerpt, we see the soprano, Anja Petersen, and the tenor, Min Sub Hong, as a couple. And they're basically practicing their dance routine. And then we see one of the main characters, who is this heavyweight champion, well, the heavyweight of the title, come in, played by our very dear friend Jonathan de la Paz Seance. And, well, he is in a white undershirt with black shorts, and as for the main couple, they're basically in like more formal clothing. And then the mezzo role, Anna Maria, is seen wearing like a typical like middle class woman style of clothing, usually worn in the 30s. And this was sung by Hildegard Rützel. And then we have Ottokar, the servant, who is mainly a comic character, but it's pretty much a joy to play, and he's basically seen all around the stage, like doing a lot of the errands. And then we see a journalist, played by Volker Nietzsche, who questions the heavyweight champion about what is he interested in and all that stuff. And it kind of ends really hilariously with the heavyweight champion being stuck in doing the training while the other couple just ends up being, like, free from the scene. And then we get to the second part, which is Paul Hindemith's Hin und Zurück, which is a very interesting piece. And it shows that there is a young woman who is helping her aunt, like, go to the next town. Her lover gets really jealous for no reason, and he shoots her, and he shoots himself, and then they're kind of like, well, wondering what does life really mean for them and all that stuff. And it's very interesting, albeit kind of absurdist by nature, and very interesting all the same. And then we get to the final excerpt, which is excerpts of The Rise and Fall of the City of Mahagonny. And in this one, they're basically like a Greek chorus-esque style of, well, singers that are in, like, they have, like, mine hats, and they have these cylindrical tubes that they use as loudspeakers to announce to the audience that this is what it's like in the city of Mahagonny. And let me tell you that this evening was full of fabulous singers. Let's start with the soprano Anya Peterson. Now, I've never heard her name before, but as I read her biography, and she stated that she was singing the likes of Tebineta, Gilda, Susana, Olympia, and Adina, I was very much interested in how she was going to sound tonight. And let me tell you that she has a very, very sweet sounding instrument that really makes great use of the coloratura. And she was absolutely gorgeous on stage. She had a very gorgeous stage presence. And like I said, her voice was also one of the greatest assets. And she had a very, very sweet and delicate tone that she used to her advantage very well. And then we have the mezzo, who was Hildegard Ritzel, a very fine musician, very fine technique, and absolutely gorgeous stage presence as well. And it was just a very gorgeous, well-focused, and homogeneous voice that I really went crazy for and really enjoyed listening to. Then we have the tenors, who were Min-Sub Hong and Volker Nietzsche. Very gorgeous lyric tenors, and Min-Sub Hong's timbre is a lot fuller sounding, and it almost reminds me of that of Fritz Wunderlich in terms of the timbre. He has a very sweet timbre, very full, and very homogeneous, and just simply put, gorgeous. Now, Volker Nietzsche, on the other hand, he has a lighter timbre, and has a lighter timbre in general. And these two tenors worked very well in terms of their voice and in terms of their acting. And then we get to the bass baritones. Ingolf Hohenburg was, just simply put, a very gorgeous musician. He used his instrument very well. And yes, he did have a very thankless part in singing the role of Ottokar and one of the lower male voices of Hin und Zurück. But it was a very, very homogeneous and very gorgeous instrument. And then we get to Jonathan de la Paz, who is also my voice teacher as of this year. So a huge shout out to him. So going to my critique of him, he has a very, very gorgeous voice. He still has that very gorgeous, masculine, virile, and just simply put, homogeneous and just wonderful voice. And I'm actually very thankful to be his pupil. I feel like I'm learning a lot from him as well. I know it's a bit off topic, but yeah, it's just sort of like, well, what I think of him as a teacher as well. So going to his performance, I really enjoyed seeing him on stage. He didn't really make his role of the heavyweight champion a big, hammy role. Instead, he made him human enough and very enjoyable to watch without overacting, without all the unnecessary clownish natures. He just made him seem like a man who is seemingly paranoid, but also wants to make sure that everything goes right in his turf. And that's what I really enjoyed. I felt like he was pretty much the highlight of the first part of the song cycle. And with the Benares song, I thought he shone very gorgeously with this line, "Oh, goddamn, no." It was just simply put haunting, but at the same time, very alluring and very gorgeous. So I'm actually very happy to have him as a teacher. And if any of you are interested in having our great friend, Monsieur de la Paz as a voice teacher, then I highly recommend him. He's absolutely fantastic, and, well, you won't regret it. So, overall, I felt that the singing was wonderfully done all around. It was a very great evening for a concert, and I also have to thank the wonderful conducting of Maestro Jens Genslein, and also the fabulous, orchestra playing of the members of the ensemble of the of the students of the Berliner Hochschule. So all of them were very wonderful. And, well, all thanks to the singers as well. And this is going to also be performed tomorrow. So if you're interested and really want to have a kick tomorrow with hearing a lot of these wonderful excerpts of these 20th century works, then I say go right ahead. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for this long-awaited review of Verdi's Nabucco. So until then, good night, everybody.